Tom, after 11 years, the Phillies are back in the playoffs, facing the same team that eliminated them in 2011, and that would be the Cardinals, of course. What can we expect from the Phillies this time around?
Well, I mean, this Phillies team is really good.
Also, another factor that I think that a lot of people are looking at is that this is the first time that Oli Marmol is going through this as a manager for the Cardinals. So what do you expect for him and how he's going to handle this? Because obviously, this is a big test for him in his first year.
I'm very impressed with how this team...
Welcome back. We knew that going into this season, it was going to be a farewell tour for Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols.
But what we didn't know is that this final run would turn into so many record-breaking, historic moments in baseball. Let's take a look back at the big three moments with the big three, starting, of course, with the machine turning into Mr. 700. In Hollywood, another movie was made that night, The Legend of Albert Pujols, Mr. 700. The machine showed us why he has earned that nickname, homering twice against one of his former teams. That three-run bomb initiated him into the exclusive 700 home run club, joining three legends, Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, and Babe Ruth. Albert Pujols saying after the game, surrounded by his children, that it won't really hit him until after the season. For now, he's just focused on contributing and chasing another championship.
I mean, it's pretty special, especially, you know, with the Dodgers fans do it here, and you know, and then you can get to see both sides. You know, they get to enjoy this, and then doing with the Cardinals uniform is even special. So it's just pretty awesome. I'm just thanking God, you know, running around the bases, you know, for allowing me to do it this time, you know, especially with my family in town. I think when it's really gonna hit me when I'm done at the end of the season and I'm retired, and probably a month or two after that, like I can look at the numbers and, you know, don't get me wrong, I know where my place is stand in this game, but I think since day one when I made my debut, it was never about numbers. It was never about chasing numbers or anything. It was always about winning championship.
Yadier Molina has been a fan favorite for nearly 2 decades.
Well, and Brian, this weekend I was able to speak to someone who knows Yadier Molina really well, and that would be his brother, Benji Molina. Benji and I talked about how he knew it was going to be an emotional weekend for Yadi, with around 50 family members and friends all coming in to see him.
Having our family is what's going to make him, you know, kind of choked up a little bit, I think, because my mom means so much to him, obviously. But not only them, we have all our family, cousins, uncles, you name it, you know. And he knows that. He understands that, how important family is to us. And having them here will touch his heart.
And how special is it, too, that he was able to stay with the Cardinals his entire career?
He made it a lot easier. I didn't want him to go anywhere, right? So I am very happy that he stayed with one team. It doesn't happen. It might not happen to anybody again. So we are very glad that the Wits and Mo and the organization, they made it happen. That they made him stay here by obviously talking to him about the contracts and all that stuff. We're very excited that he only played for one team.
Now, I asked around some of the players what some of their top Yadi moments were. I've got some different answers, and some even said, look, it's almost every night that he's out there in the lineup. What would you say, or what would you pick as your top Yadi moment?
I think there's a few. I think first one, his first hit in the major leagues, it was very memorable. It was my brother's birthday, Jose's birthday, June 3rd. I think that was a special moment for him. Everybody knows about the home run against the Mets. Everybody knows the 2 championships, that he easily could have been the MVP of the series. The moment that he beat the Braves, to go to the Braves and face him over there. He has so many great moments in Cardinal history. And through the years, once he retires, through the years like they do on the scoreboard, we will see more of those events.
As we mentioned, just a very emotional weekend, and we know that he's going to go on. He has his basketball team, but also he'll be managing for Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic. Do you think that that's something that maybe he'll look into as well, is staying around baseball in that way?
I think he's been looking forward to that moment since he was 5 years old. I really do believe it. I think it's a great moment. He's super excited. I talked to him about that, and super excited. We want to bring a championship to Puerto Rico so bad. And who else? You know, the leader, you know, of the Puerto Rican team. So we are pretty excited. He is too. That is super, super special for us.
Well, Brian, he's been so reliable that he will likely be that Game 2 starter this weekend in the Wild Card Series. And I had a chance to chat with Jose Quintana this past weekend and talk about that transition he had and how it was so seamless from the Pirates to the Cardinals. When you came over here to St. Louis, I know you talked about how exciting it was to play for a team that has a chance to go into the postseason and go deep into the postseason. Now that that's literally on the horizon here, what does that feel like for you?
I mean, that feels good, you know. I think we get the first goal to be here and to make the playoffs. I'm really excited for the opportunity. As soon as, I know coming to St. Louis, I know it's going to be a huge opportunity for me. So I'm been enjoying the last 2 months I spent here.
And what has really just helped you in this transition of coming over to the Cardinals? Because as we all know, just looking at the stats, it's almost been a seamless transition for you and almost a renaissance. You're doing better than you were with Pittsburgh.
Well, I think they made me really easy as staff. You know, all my teammates, they took care of me really good. You know, they gave me a really good support, and I appreciate that. I think Yadier and kids are doing a really good job with me to be on the same page right away as soon as I'm landing here, and I think that's the key.
Well, Game 1 of the Wild Card Series will be this Friday. First pitch is set for 1:07 p.m. on ABC. Game 2 will be on Saturday. Game time for that is 7:37 p.m., and that will be on ESPN2. And, of course, if there is a Game 3, if needed, that will be on Sunday. All 3 games will, of course, take place at Busch Stadium against the Phillies, and there's a lot of history, too, against the Phillies.
Just a little bit, and there's some fun history. Phillies are in the postseason for the first time since 2011 when the Cardinals beat them in the NLDS. Now, you may remember one of the turning points in that series was the rally squirrel. After a squirrel scampered across the home plate, the Cardinals never looked back, beating the Phillies and eventually winning the World Series. Maybe we can get another squirrel this weekend.
A squirrel, rally cat, I mean anything. We need to let something loose in there, right?
Absolutely. Hopefully they play well.
All right, well, thank you for joining us for this special edition of News 4 at 6:30. Join us again.